Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are diving headfirst into an investigation of some really complex and, frankly, pretty unusual source material.
Yeah, this is definitely out there.
We're looking at documents exploring the metaphysical, the energetic reality of the animal kingdom, stuff about animal consciousness, karma, even cosmic interference in their lives.
That's right. And our mission today is basically to give you a shortcut through this dense investigation. We want to unpack these claims about why we see animals the way we do, look at some alleged ancestral biological secrets, and explore these ideas of animal autonomy and even reincarnation.
Yeah, we're definitely not sticking to, standard biology textbooks today.
Yeah.
The main thread seems to be this claim that animals work on a totally different perceptual framework than humans.
Exactly, one that's fundamentally integrated with the energetic environment, while ours is more, well, segmented.
Okay, let's unpack that right away. What is animal consciousness fundamentally, according to these sources?
Well, it's described as a vibratory, pineal, and pituitary language. The idea is that their consciousness isn't really self-generated like we think of human individuality. It's more like the pineal and pituitary glands are super integrated energetic receptors.
Receptors.
Yeah, constantly reading the whole environment, physical and energetic. It's less thinking maybe and more sensing, feeling.
So energetic receptors first, biological organs second. Okay, and the sources claim this connection wasn't just like natural evolution, but was actually induced and manipulated ages ago. Manipulated? How? To do what?
To segment and separate humans. That's the argument. That this specific kind of animal consciousness was basically used as a tool to create a massive energetic disconnect.
The disconnect between humans and
reality.
nature.
Between humans and the broader natural energetic reality,
Yeah.
It basically shifts the blame for our collective blindness, you could say, onto some external force using animals.
Wow.
And this leads straight to the biggest difference in perception they talk about. Animals apparently integrate the physical world because they observe the energetic reality first.
Like sensing earthquakes before they happen, that kind of thing?
Exactly. They feel the energetic pressure building before it actually, shakes the ground. Humans, though, we do the reverse. We see the physical thing happen, then we try to figure out the energy behind it.
Which creates that lag, right? The source material calls it a D-space.
Yeah.
An offset.
Yeah, time lag. We're always sort of playing catch-up energetically while they get it instantly.
And this instant perception is linked to what they call the primary brain.
Right, which is essentially their instinct, their core operating system. And it's described as much better integrated and less obstructed than ours.
Less obstructed meaning?
Meaning they can supposedly see things humans usually filter out. Entities, portals, other dimensions, stuff our filters just block.
So their instinct is like a clearer channel. Less corrupted than our rational mind, maybe. Okay, so if this difference in perception, integrated versus segmented, wasn't an accident, let's explore this idea of external interference more.
Well, what's really fascinating is this idea that animals are consciously aware of being near humans, not just like, food source, but a kind of calculated caution.
Okay.
Yeah, they understand they can get caught in the crossfire, basically, become collateral damage from negative entities that might be operating through human interference. So they're energetically wary.
That makes a weird kind of sense.
Yeah.
What about the big one, the food chain? Predator, prey. The sources claim even that is a manipulation.
A manipulation designed to create a very specific effect in us.
In humans, how?
The claim is it's designed specifically to generate guilt and trauma in humans, not just from, witnessing cruelty, but the whole cycle of consuming life is supposedly amplified in our consciousness.
Amplified to make us feel
Well,
submissive.
Yeah, to promote a kind of internal submission. It reinforces this belief that we need external help, external control to manage this seemingly cruel world. It feeds into dependency.
That's staggering. That basic survival structures could be engineered to control human emotion. Okay, now, the sources have this really specific kind of odd description of the human form. They call it a combo or concentrado, a concentrate.
Yeah, concentrate.
What does that mean exactly? Is it just insulting, or is there like a specific energetic composition idea?
I don't know. It's about composition. The idea is that human physical DNA is this complex, almost messy mixture.
Yeah.
Plant, mineral, and animal components all sort of jumbled together.
So less pure, less defined than animal life.
Exactly, less singular. They call the human body an experiment, totally manipulated. The image they use is embutido, like a sausage.
A sausage, right. Okay, that paints a picture. Fragmented, kind of forced together. So if that's the human state, how does this manipulation play out with our pets? domestic animals?
Well, the sources claim that maybe in the last 20 years or so, certain energetic blocks in our DNA, they call them chips or apparatuses, things meant to sever connection, they've been modified
Modified how?
to allow for deeper human-animal interaction, more recognition of animal intelligence. But the flip side is that domestic animals are sometimes seen as energetically inexperienced.
Inexperienced?
Yeah.
Like naive?
Yeah, maybe naive, which makes them easier targets for interference specifically designed to stir up guilt and confusion in their human companions.
Hitting us where it hurts. Using that emotional bond.
Exactly. Whereas wild animals are generally described as more autonomous, driven by pure instinct. They flow more harmoniously unless they're specifically targeted, again, to create that trauma.
The human-pet bond. It becomes a prime target for energy harvesting then.
That's the implication, yes.
Okay, this takes us towards section 3, and some really provocative ideas about biology and existence. Non-karmic life. Let's start with the big one. Karma.
Yeah, this is a huge claim. The sources are explicit. Animals, generally speaking, do not carry a karmic burden.
No karma.
At all. Their existence is governed by instinct, by energetic flow, not by some kind of cosmic debt system. If they get tangled in interference, even stuff that looks like karma involving humans, it's induced by external entities. It's not inherent to their path.
I have to push back a bit here. If there's no karmic burden, what drives their actions? Is it just pure instinct? Or some totally different moral compass?
According to the source, it's neither moral nor immoral in the way we think about it. It's more like non-existential in the human sense. They operate in the now, driven by their form, their environment.
So they're observers, not debtors in the system.
That's the idea. This non-karmic nature is what supposedly gives them a true autonomy that humans have lost. They're not stuck in that cycle.
That really reframes animal suffering, doesn't it? Seeing it as interference, not consequence. Okay, now for the really startling medical claims. Ancestral biological secrets. The sources talk about seeing energetic records of practices in places like Antarctica, the Amazon, involving transfusions.
Yes, specifically plasma or serum transfusions, and exchanging other biological materials between species, human to animal, animal to human.
For what purpose?
Biological restructuring, healing. They're described as basic, super effective ancestral medicines, knowledge that's been buried or suppressed.
Okay, give us the most specific examples they mentioned. Salt water, saline solutions, algae.
Right, and here's the really specific one, using the skin shed by serpents.
Shed snakeskin. For healing.
Yeah, to help with biological restructuring, particularly noted for treating serious illnesses. The source uses the term congreo, which seems to mean cancer-like conditions, especially in the stomach.
Whoa, hold on. If this used shed skin, it was non-sacrificial.
Exactly. That's the emphasis. They use materials naturally shed or fluids exchanged willingly. It was about natural restructuring, not violent extraction.
That flips the whole modern narrative about animal use in medicine on its head.
Completely. And the claim is modern medicine dismisses it because it's outside the controlled system.
Okay, so if life is this manipulated, how do they escape it at death? Section 4, transitioning. How is an animal's transition different from a human's?
This is critical. The sources claim humans, because we're so attached to this embutido body and carry that karmic weight, often get snagged, caught in an energetic mesh or net after death.
A net?
Yeah. But animals, they supposedly have this resistance, this force that's not of this planet. They easily break through this mesh because they know their energy. They don't have our intense focus on the physical body being the be-all and end-all. Their non-attachment makes the transition cleaner, faster.
And they choose to reincarnate.
Absolutely. By choice, not by debt. Cats are specifically mentioned as loving the cycle. They find returning fascinating. Elephants, too, they have these specific, almost secular rituals to integrate their physical body back into nature before their essence moves on.
Okay, and their origins. We talked about interference, but the sources also suggest some animal forms here are actually manifestations of other races.
Yeah.
Eteric races.
That's right. Forms like phelinoids, reptiles, sometimes described as physiological experiments, like other races wanting to see themselves in a physical carbon body, a kind of ego mirror for them.
An ego mirror. Wow, okay. And one last strange bit before we wrap up this section.
The insect world. The colmenae, the hive mind.
Yeah, the claim there is that colony insects, ants, bees, are basically a perfect replication of an energetic hierarchy.
A model.
A model of rigid obedience. And the suggestion is this system was induced, presented here on Earth, to make humans believe we also need that kind of top-down system. A general, a god, reinforcing manipulation, stopping individual autonomy. It's like a societal blueprint hidden in nature. Goodness. Okay, we've covered manipulation, biology, cosmic forms. But the big question for anyone listening, the real frustration is, why can't we just talk to them easily? Communicate.
Well, according to these sources, the communication is never actually cut. It's just heavily filtered, interfered with, and mostly by our own choices, beliefs, interpretations.
It's self-imposed interference. We use lenses and filters, right? What are these filters specifically?
They explain it as the human mind being conditioned to wait for validation, waiting for scientific proof, or waiting for a plant to literally grow a mouth and say hello.
Ah, right.
Our whole system relies on slow sensory data points, smell, hearing, sight triangulating reality. It's always filtering. We're stuck in this slow chronos, this time-based system, while the animal operates on instant energetic recognition. Essence.
Which brings us back to that message from the Quetzal that appeared in one session.
Yeah.
What was its core advice?
It was immediate, simple, reconóceme por ABN. Recognize me by DNA, by essence.
By S?
The animal sees the energy signature instantly. The human is stuck in time, filtering, interpreting. And this human seldom, it's conditioned from birth, even in the womb. They claim to choose these filters over direct, instinctual knowing.
And the way through this barrier is practice. They use the parrot example, the loro.
Exactly. Parrots don't just mimic randomly, they practice. They focus intensely until they master the sound. The message is, humans need to stop questioning that instinctual connection and start practicing it, using it immediately, without the filters.
Okay, so synthesizing all this.
Yeah.
It's a pretty dramatic picture, isn't it? Animal consciousness as fluid, non-karmic, deeply connected to the metaphysical, using this integrated primary brain.
While human consciousness is compartmentalized, manipulated, filtered, stuck, interpreting the physical world slowly.
So what does this all mean for you listening? The difference in perception, according to these sources, isn't really about capacity. It's not that they can and we can't. It's about filtration and choice. They remain integrated. We become segmented, by design perhaps.
Which leaves us with a final thought, something for you to maybe explore yourself. If these sources are right, if children are born with this ADN revolution, this enhanced perception, and we systematically lose it through conditioning, through filters, what understanding of reality could you potentially regain right now just by practicing the removal of your most deeply ingrained sensory filters?